Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Yes, yes, yes. There we go. I can hear it. We're good. Yes, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? Thank you for tuning in to another Daily Fitness live stream show today. We have a nice little show lined up for you today. We're going to tackle our 4 topics that we always tackle, which is going to be fitness, humor, the economy, and AI. There's a lot of stuff going on right now if you probably haven't been paying attention. And we're also going to go over our muscle of the day that we have for you today. Today's going to be a very interesting show that we have because we are going to talk about the economies in a slightly different little bit of way because there's a TV show called Black Mirror. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. They had a episode called 15 Million Merits, and I think it's had a pretty good idea of how the future of the economy is gonna be looking. Because they said some striking similarities in the video that we're gonna go over, we're gonna react to, and yeah, you're just gonna have to see when it comes up because it's going to look pretty dang sad. Yeah. Sad day. But then also we're going to move over to AI and we're going to check out AI as well. And when we get to AI, we're going to see exactly if Hollywood is been taken over by AI. And if so, then that's probably going to have another bad impact on the economy as well. So yeah, it's not looking good. But on a good note, we are going to get into the show. But first, you have to look right here and see right there that there's a Cash App and the Venmo. Cash App is Daniel2888. Venmo, Daniel-00 if you'd like to contribute to today's show. However, know that we are streaming on 4 platforms: Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and Rumble. We're streaming on all 4 of those platforms simultaneously, I might add. We're doing those all at the same time. Maybe that sounds a little bit better, and it does. It sounds better to me, too. We're also streaming on all 4 of those platforms as well, so if you can hit the link tree on any platform you find me on, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, there's a link tree in my bio on all those. You can simply click that, and then you will find all the links at the top. They'll be in icons. Pick one, click one, do whatever you choose to. But however, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor, please hit, there we go, hit that like button that you see right there. We want you to go ahead and get this algorithm out and share this story with other people. So yes, today's going to be a fun one. Today's going to be a good one. And it's Friday. It's Friday. So hopefully you had a good week. And if it's been a rough one for you, always remember what Mr. Chow says.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
You didn't die. You made it to Friday. So with that being said, Easter's right around the corner. Rent was just due about a week ago. So everything should be handy dandy, good and peasy, easy squeezy. And we're going to proceed on with the show. So we're going to go ahead and get the fitness part of the show going. Let me get my banner up. And I still didn't fix the banner. Shame on me. Shame on me. Where is it? There it is. So there's the banner right there. So we get the banner up and we're going to react to our first video. And we're going to start the video off looking at a couple of fails in the fitness realm. We're going to check it out and see what's going on, see what people are doing right and doing wrong. Of course, no broken bones. We're not going to see anybody get broken backwards or anything like that because I personally can't even watch that myself. I would have to just turn my own stream off because yeah. But we are going to watch a few fails. Then we're going to get over to our muscle of the day. And then we're going to get on to our sponsor of the show. Wink, wink. But yeah, let's go and get to this first video. And the first video is going to be, oh, and don't mind, what is it? That's not for me. That's my dog's little stuffed animal toy. So if you're wondering why there's a little bitty mini snowman in my bed, is because my little dog, Jackster, went ahead and hopped on the bed, put the toy up there, and then jumped down. So yeah, I promise you it's not mine. I promise. All right, anyway. Moving on, we are getting to the first portion of the show, and let's go ahead and get that pulled up for us right here. Bam, wrong banner, right banner, boom. All right, we switched the banners up. Now we're going to go ahead and get into this. Let's take a look at our first set of fails, shall we, and see how this thing goes. Here we go. Uh-oh. We got music, so I'll probably have to mute that because I don't want to get copyrighted for some music. But, oh, man, she got lucky. Oh, what happened to her? Wait a minute. Can we go back to that? What happened to her? Oh, she dinged her face or her nose or her mouth on the thingy. Oh, right on the back of the neck, on the cranium. That looks pretty painful. He gets it up. He gets so... Oh, man, that could have been really bad, but he caught a break. All right. Let go, buddy. Oh, he's got the wrist things on. Ugh. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Okay. Oh, no. Did she hit herself in the face? And yeah, you got to make sure that you get the studs. Let go. Well, maybe that would have been a bad idea. She might have busted her head. Why would you... Oh, no. We got to watch that one again. Oh, buddy. Buddy. He strained too much. Oh, he melted. He melted. Oh, no. What are you doing? Really, a whole forward roll? Come on now, bruh. Come on. Wait. Oh, no. Yaga. Oh, man, that was a Yaga. Okay. Oh, buddy, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's just unlucky. Oh, no. That was painful. Good bail. Good bail on that one, buddy. Oh. Good bail on that. Oh, okay. Well, maybe not so good. Jesus. Well, at least you didn't hurt yourself. Oh, I seen this. Bang! Shins on the bar, boy. I know that hurt. He hit his mouth. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. You got lucky. Alrighty. Up. He fell. Come on, baby. You got the... Oh, not the forehead. Don't hit your forehead. Look, hold on. First things first. If you're lifting weights, try your hardest not to hit yourself. Let me get close on this one. Let me get close. If you're lifting weights, try, speaking from experience, try not to let the bar hit you on the forehead. It's going to leave a mark. Don't do it, because it's going to be on your face and you can't escape it, and it's going to be there, and people are going to laugh at you. They're going to roast you. When they talk to you, they're not even going to make eye contact with you. They're going to look at you in your eyes like this, and then naturally you're going to see them do this. Like, for real. Trust me. I've been there. It's not a good feeling. You have no friends whenever that happens. I mean, you ain't got no family, you ain't got no friends, because everybody's gonna be like, yeah, right to the forehead every time. There's no eye contact. They're gonna keep looking at it. Then your mama gonna try to touch it, and it's getting better. You're getting better. Like, just protect yourself when you're lifting these weights. All right, let's finish up on this reaction. Let's see what we got here. All right, so I think he smacked his dog in the face. Let's see if we can play some. Let's see if I can take off mute real quick. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, he smacked the dog. Poor doggy. Oh, yeah, Yaga. Oh, and the other. And the other. Good control. Okay, that was good control. All right. That was actually pretty impressive, I must say. Did she hit herself in the head, didn't she? Oh, that could have been worse. Yeah, she's out of there. She is out of there. She laying there like, yeah. But you know me always. I always have to give your credit to people for being inside of the gym. So with that being said, yes, so shout out to everybody who was in the gym. Fail or no fail, that's the only way to get better. That's the only way to get stronger. You got to go through the fails in order to succeed. That's just life. You don't grow if you don't fail. I don't know. But anyway, so next that we have up, we got Joe Rogan, and I'm not sure if I can play Joe Rogan stuff, because I heard that his stuff, he be sniping people's stuff all the time. So I don't know if I'll be able to play it. I don't know. This might be my first Joe Rogan experience. Yeah, see what I did there? You see what I did there? Yeah, this will be my first Joe Rogan experience. So, oh, nope, 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 nope. No. Accident. Yeah, so we're going to check out this Joe Rogan thing. But this one right here is with the Joe Rogan experience. What we have here is we have them speaking on people who would take tren. And we're going to have a guy who's going to explain how tren actually works. And for y'all who don't know what tren is, it's a steroid basically. And yeah, there's a guy who took tren. He's going to explain to you what it feels like being on tren. And yeah, I don't know if this is, yeah, I mean, hearing some of the stuff that he talked about, because I did listen to a little bit of it, I was curious, because, you know, I do fitness, and I was just wondering, like, what be going through some of these people's heads who be, like, yoked out of their mind, can't even turn or, like, wipe their ass because they so, you know, they big and muscular. So I'm just kind of curious. It's like, what's actually going through their head with all the stuff that they are, like, injecting in their bodies? You know what I mean? Because it is a drug, however you want to look at it. It is a drug, you know what I mean? So you got to, like, kind of wonder, like, what are all these drug addicts doing around here? You know what I mean? Like, what are they feeling? You know what I mean? So yeah, I was curious. I was curious. So with this one, it's on the Joe Rogan experience. I'm gonna play it, and I'm probably gonna learn real quick that you can't use this stuff, but I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna see what happens. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Maybe I should just play the audio. Or should I play the? I'm gonna do the clip. The only way to learn is to find out. So anyway, what we got here is we got the Joe Rogan, and they're gonna have a guy explain to you what it feels like to be on tren. So hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Let's roll the footage.
Psychologically,
tren is the worst offender for your psychological state. Not just
I'm gonna keep my phone close just to see if I get a message while it's going on.
because the drug is bad, but it also like ruins your sleep. So you get like tren cough I mentioned, but tren sweats is another one where it almost induces like a menopause like hot flash.
Oh, he said menopause hot flash. Menopause for men. What is that like?
Sweating in your sleep, and you wake up just fucking drenched.
Jesus
and it like really fucks up your sleep, and it makes you hyper paranoid as well, which is no good, because even though you're this jacked, sometimes confident guy, other times you're unreasonably insecure, and you like a very common outcome is for guys to.
All right, so you're jacked and you're insecure because it brings out, I guess it brings out the crazy. I guess the drugs start running a train on the brain is basically what it's doing. It's got you thinking the worst and not preparing for the best.
Think their girlfriends are cheating on them.
Uh-oh.
Just out of nowhere by being on tren. And,
Really?
yeah, and they end up becoming, oddly behaving. Sexual deviancy is also a very common.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, on tren. And it's thought to be the progestogenic activity because it's
Rogan said, I've heard of that. Rogan, are you on tren?
derived from nandrolone, which is a progesterone receptor agonist as well. And progesterone is thought to be very implicated in gay sexual tendencies as you grow up if you had heightened exposure to progesterone in utero. And highly dopaminergic drug as well, which in excess can cause like really weird sexual deviancy as well.
So he's not talking about sexual deviancy as in just like high in sex. He's talking about sexual deviancy like how far you will go. Like you'll be doing some extreme sexual acts. I think that's where he's going with it. Like the sexual deviancy is not predicated on how much sex you're having, but the type of acts you'll end up doing. You know what I mean? Like you're like pushing the boundaries, pushing the limits of pleasure. Yikes.
And yeah, it's like really fucking potent and good at what it does. It builds lean mass, and it's like a really dry compound. It doesn't make you watery. Also has a unique anti-catabolic effect, so you don't, in a deficit, you keep muscle and sometimes even grow while you're cutting.
Yo, that right there is scary. How the hell do you grow muscles while you're cutting? it's only natural that you will go through your fat and you will lose some strength while cutting. That's normal. You're not going to feel as strong during a cut than you are in a bulk. But to like still be growing muscles during a cut, bruh, that is some man-made ish. Like something like that should be studied, because it's like you're in a deficit of food and nutrition in your body, but something is counteracting that and is giving you muscle. It's actually pretty scary if you really think about it. Continue.
And so it's not like steroids don't all do that to some degree, more or less, but this drug is like uniquely potent in its anti-catabolic action to where you could be like extremely nutrient deprived and still hold on to a lot of your muscle.
That's what I just said. That is literally what I just said. That's crazy that you don't have no food or energy in your body. Sorry, phones. I'm still kind of checking to see if they're going to move the strike, but so far so good. Fair use. But yeah, not having no food or nutrition in your body, but still putting on muscle, bruh, just think about that. Like, think. What puts on muscle on your body, even though you're nutrient deficient? Like, that's a drug that does that to you. You don't got to eat, but you still going to get like, I don't think people can fathom exactly like how wicked that is. That's crazy. I can understand if you had like food or nutrition in your body, it enhances it, but to not have nothing and it's still.
And because it's so good at making you extremely strong too, without an excess of body weight, it's like highly sought after in many sports, because you don't have to worry about jumping up in weight class while you're getting the strength increase. That is like humongous.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was one of the drugs that was used in the Duchess cocktail, which is what Rod Shankov would have his athletes swish around in their mouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was absorbed buccally. So it would like it was almost like the equivalent of IVing the drug right into your bloodstream. You would swish it around your mouth in this alcohol, and it would absorb buccally into the bloodstream immediately. So you wouldn't have to actually have it go into your stomach and then get processed through a first pass metabolism. So you could get it in and out of your system way faster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's wild. That is wild. Now you have to understand that people are walking around with this stuff in their system at all times. Like, they're walking around with this type of drug inside of them. Now, granted, there's a lot of other drugs out there, but you're in the gym with people like this. And I'm not knocking anybody who chooses to do it or try it, however, it's different when other people can understand the side effects that could be happening and that go along with it, or it could help the actual users who probably didn't look into the side effects to learn more about it now. I'm just saying. But it's just interesting to know that's the mindset that they're on, and that is what is potentially happening inside of their body while they're doing this stuff. Because, not because they look good aesthetically, internally, they could be nutrition deprived because they don't have to have food, a lot of food in their stomach. They don't have to hit their macros. They don't have to eat a certain amount of food. It's still going to do what it does to perceive this aesthetic look, although it's a synthetic look at the same time, because it's not the nutrition or the food that you're putting into your body to achieve this goal. It's a drug. Straight up drug. Like kind of like whenever you see people on like hard drugs, like crystal or something like that, and you see them get tased by the police officers, and they're like, rip it off and run harder, and then the cop's like, tow, 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 and they're like, still running, and then get shot 5 more times, and finally they drop. It's like, yo, what was he on? You know what I mean? Or she, what were they on? You know what I mean? So having this inside of your body, man, and it kind of helps you understand. Sorry, I'm looking at something down here. It kind of helps you understand like why you don't want to go against anybody in a sport that is on or that has this inside of them, especially if you're like a super great athlete or something like that. To have this sort of mindset and you're already like a freak of nature and an athlete, it's like, bruh, go sit down somewhere. I'm like, no. But at the end of the day, you have to be careful with what you're consuming and who you're watching when it comes to the fitness realm, because a lot of the times the body you desire is not a body that you can achieve by doing things by natural means. It will require you to, do some drugs. You know what I mean? Do some straight up drugs. Now, I, for one, I don't take any steroids. I do take supplements. I do take supplements and stuff like that. I am a pre-workout drinker, so I do drink pre-workouts, so that kind of helps with the energy and the gym and stuff and the push harder. So that's as far as I go with it. And always, like I say, creatine. Unless creatine is considered a drug or a PED, then hey, I guess I'll take drugs or PEDs. But other than that, though, it's you want to play the longevity game with fitness. You don't ever want to go for the short game. However, you cannot help but notice, it seemed like everybody who does take, who actually do take the needles and the trends and the antivars and all that, it seems like financially, boy, they out there winning. I mean, I'm not hating on it at all. I'm not hating whatsoever. Do your thing, do you. You know what I mean? So if you want to look at that side of it, on the flip side, financially, it seems like it works. Financially, it seems like it works. I hate to be the speaker of truth on that matter, but it looks like it works. The more people take that stuff, and they start doing their fitness thing, it seems like financially they come out winning on the other side. It just seems that way. Now, maybe not the bodybuilder type people as much, but more of like the fitness influencer type. You know what I mean? So yeah. So that's the basically ideology that you would have if you're on a steroid. So if you ever decided or wanted to take one, you ever thought about it, then hey, that's what it's gonna feel like, and that's what you're gonna be on. So get ready for the night sweats and all that good stuff. Drenching wet in your sleep from sweat. Crazy thoughts of, people, your girlfriend or boyfriend cheating on you. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be a full outrage going on in your head. That's why they be in there taking them weights personal, because they really is fighting demons. Good Lord, they fighting demons like crazy. All right, so next, let's move on to the next thing. And the next thing that we're going to look at is going to be the muscle of the day. Yeah. Let's look at the muscle of the day. Whoops, there we go. All right, so we got the muscle of the day, and the muscle of the day is the quadriceps femoris. Quadriceps femoris, I'm going to go ahead and read it off for you so you can get an understanding exactly what this is, and we're going to play this while I'm reading. The quadriceps femoris is a large, powerful muscle group located at the front of the thigh. Plays a crucial role in the extension and hip flexion, making it essential for walking, running, jumping, and squatting. Yes. It consists of 4 individual muscles. Rectus femoris, which runs straight down the thigh, crosses both the hip-knee joints and helps with the flexion and knee extensions. The vastus lataris, the vastus medialis, and the vastus intermedius. All 4 of those muscles, they have all 4 of those muscles are the muscles that make up the rectus femoris. Now, with the rectus femoris, it has 2 origins. The anterior inferior iliac spine of the pelvis is one of them, and the other one is the upper margin of the acintubulum. The insertion is going to be at the common insertion tendon. All right. And those are going to be those 2 things. The functions is to extend the knee, stabilize the patella, and flexes the hip. Mainly is what the rectus femoris is for, is flexing the hip. Because as you can see, if you look right here, bam, 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 bam. All 4 of these muscles right here connecting right here to your hip. This is your hip. Right here. This is your iliac muscle right here. Or excuse me, your muscle. This is your iliac bone right here. All right, iliac psoas. This is it right here. And this is your hip. So your muscles right here, the rectus femoris, are connected to the hip. Boom, 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 boom. Right there. So it flexes the hip. That's your main muscles. Keep your hips flexible, people. Make sure you have flexy hips. Don't be stiff in the hip joints, because that's usually where a lot of people's problem lies. So, stay flexy in the hips as much as you can. Try to learn how to do some high kicks, stretch the hips out, keep the groin and all that stuff not so tight, keep it loose, pause. But you understand what I mean, because a lot of people grow up older and they have hip problems and stuff like that. And these things could easily be avoided if you just simply work them out and took care of them, you know, can't talk. Work them out. Use weight training, certain exercises and workouts that help flex with the hips, stretch them out, but don't only just stretch them. Stretching is good, but you also want to strengthen them. That's two different things. Stretching and strengthening are two different things. All because you can do the splits doesn't technically mean that the muscles that you have the ability to do the splits in are strong. You could just be flexible. Some people are born that way, very flexible. That's why you have contortionists. Shout out to them, by the way. And make sure that you go in the gym and you try to work out those muscles, and not even just in the gym. You can work out these muscles at home. You don't have to always be in the gym working out these muscles. These muscles can be worked out at home. So keep strong hips. Keep your strong hips. It'll help alleviate your lower back pain, which is a hell of a leading cause in this country, probably in the whole world. But for sure in this country, lower back pain, everybody has it. Everybody, like even in the fitness world, I've talked to people and talked to dudes who don't do certain workouts because it hurts their lower back, and they be in their damn 20s. In their 20s talking about you got lower back pain. I'm looking at you like, Jesus Christ, bro, you already got back pain in your lower 20s? It's pretty crazy. But yeah. But with that being said, let me continue finishing. Let me go ahead and finish up and read all this. The best exercises to target the quads are going to be squats, leg press, lunges, Bulgarian split squats, and leg extensions. So if you want to hit these 4 targeted muscles, this is going to be your 4 or 5 best workouts. Or was that 6? Like 5 of them. So make sure you do those workouts too. Work out all 4 of these muscles. Hit them at different angles and different price points. Make sure you have the mind to muscle connection when you're doing these. Start low so you can feel you actually use the muscle and not using a different muscle just to get the weight up. That's 2 different things that you're doing. You want to have a mind to muscle connection to feel exactly what muscle you should be moving the weight with, as opposed to just throwing the weight up with whatever muscle just to throw the weight up. There's a difference. Okay? So yes, that is the muscle of the day. The muscle of the day. Excuse me. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, that is the muscle of the day. So yes, with that being said, thank you. Cheers. Jesus. All right, let me make sure I got that right. Here we go. Uh-oh. They're going to mess me up on here. All right. So moving on to the next thing on the show. Let me go ahead and get all this stuff off of here so we can make sure that we have room. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And of course, we can never forget about the sponsor of today's show. Let's go ahead and pull up the sponsor of today's show. And today's show will be sponsored by yours truly. DnL&x Fitness sponsors the show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is fantastic. Yes, sir. And if you like to get some of the best home workouts that one could ever achieve and get to the greatest workouts you can get at home to make you feel nice and strong and get those muscles right and tight, go over to DnL&x Fitness on YouTube and click on the video tab where I have all the videos uploaded. We have multiple that uploads a week, so you can always get different kind of workouts at home. If you can't make it to the gym, or if God forbid another strong flu 19 kicks in, I'll be right here with you to make sure you keep getting them gains when everything shuts down and you got to stay at home and do what is it called? Oh, did they get me? Yeah, they got me. But I'll be one right there to help you get them gains whenever you are not essentially at work. So yes, so with that being said, DnL&x Fitness is sponsoring today's show. Yes, that is I. Oh, and one more thing. We should go over about the quadriceps femoris. We're going to look at this one last thing. It's going to give you a anatomy look at the inside of an actual real life human quadriceps femoris muscle, so you can see what it looks like underneath all of this skin that we have. Don't worry, it's not gruesome. I mean, it's real, but it's not gruesome. It's not too bad, but let's take a good look at it real quick. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping all around the place. I'm going to pull up on the screen. All right, here we go. So shout out to the anatomy lab. We're going to let them speak on the quadricep muscles, or the quad muscles. Here we go.
Why are they called the quad muscles or the quadriceps? Well, it's just simply a four-headed muscle, and let's just name them real quick. The first we're going to name is called the rectus femoris. Rectus just means straight, and it's femoris because it's over the femur. Then we have the vastus medialis. That's kind of that teardrop muscle you'll see on people with really defined quads on the inside of their leg, just right above the knee there. And then we've got the vastus lateralis. And this one's quite large, and you kind of have to pull the IT band out of the way to really appreciate how large it is. And then we've got one more that likes to hide. It's a little shy. It's called the vastus intermedius. And it's this muscle right underneath that I'm running my finger on. But all four of these muscles will converge into a common tendon that you can see here, and then eventually come down and attach to the tibia so that when they contract, they will extend your knee.
See, so here's the knee right here. Here's the knee right here, and then he said right here where the muscles go down and they connect to the knee tendon. So if you ever hear somebody say they pull the quad or whatever, or something like that, there's an idea what it may look like, and this is what it is. So a good anatomy lesson of the day also to go with the muscle of the day. So shout out to the anatomy lab for showing us that, because this is really, 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 really helpful. Whenever you sit down and look at it from an actual perspective, like check it out. When you actually look at it and you're able to see each four muscle actually in detailed and not just, you know, not just through a diagram or something that's highlighting it, but use actual what we look like underneath our skin and blood and all that stuff. You're getting a good look at it, seeing how muscles are not just on the top, but some are also underneath each other. So yeah, it's a good look. It's a good image. It's a good way to understand how the muscle works. So it's important to have that mind to muscle connection so you know which muscles you're exactly working on. Yes, look at that. See, he pulls that muscle back to find that muscle right there. There it is. Goes all the way down. Four muscles that make up your quad muscles. So when you see the quads and you see somebody flex their muscles and you see all them little muscles going that, you now know what it is because of yours truly. If you didn't look it up on your own, you're welcome and thank you. Yes. All right, so next we have, what is this? Next we have the next portion of the show, which is going to be the humor portion of the show. Yes, we're going to slide on over and get to the next portion, the humor portion of the show. This one's going to be kind of short. I mean, a little short one today because we got other stuff we got to go over in the economy, but this one here is going to be a short one. Got just a few, I think like what, 4 of them? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So let's go ahead and run through these real quick. Let me go ahead and get this. Wait, whoa. Pause, buddy. It is not your time to talk yet. What are you doing? And this lady too. Are you going to start talking?
On your...
Oh, yeah, she tried. All right, well, we stopped her just in time. Okay, so we're going to go into the dark humor portion, the humor portion of the show, which the humor could be dark, it could be light, whatever it is. We don't discriminate. Anybody can get it. There is no, I don't hold back on the humor. If it's racy, we're going to watch it. If it's insulting, we're going to watch it. If it's dark humor, we're going to watch it. And, if your fifis get hurt, then just leave. All right, so let's go ahead and get this pulled up real quick. Let's see what we got here. Bam, we got the first one right here. And we have to see what we got going on. This may not be humorous, but this may be... Actually, I should put this under fitness, but oh well, we're in the humor part. Actually, you know what? We're still in fitness. Right here it says fitness. So let's go ahead and put this last one for the fitness part. Sorry. Here we go. By the way, this is not real fighting. Oh, no, they did me dirty. What? Hold on, let me get it back. The video is not fighting. It's all acting fighting, so it's not real. But however, we're going to see what this lady is all about. You know what I mean? I mean, we can just already see that she's putting hands on people, but let's get that pulled back up. Let's just watch, okay? And you're going to see what this is all about. This is her training method. This is how she trains. You can train your muscles, but do you train your bones? This is what we mean by that. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. You heard that. Bruh. You got me. Oh boy, that body shot is going to put you down, boy. That is going to be a liver punch from hell.
Hey, gosh! Hey, gosh! Hey, gosh! Hey, hey!
Boy, I feel sorry for whoever tries to rob her with like their bare hands or anything like that, because man, one clink of those to the jaw and buddy is going night night. I don't care who you are, man or woman, she's putting you to sleep. I mean, like, you better not let her hit you. And it's that sad thing, part of it is, it doesn't matter where she hits you. I mean, even if she like just hit your shoulder, you try to get one of them weaves, boy, your shoulder gonna be in some, you're gonna be like, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? If she swing and miss and hit you in the chest or the stomach, like, you gonna be, bruh, that was brutal. That, you know what? We're gonna watch that one more time because that was worth watching twice. Here we go. Oh. Oh, you can hear it. Bro, this right here. I mean, bruh. Now you see what now do you see what you, let me go ahead and pull this one up real quick. Do you understand what like actual MMA fighters mean when they like hear like a muscle bound dude thinks he can fight? MMA fighters, Muay Thai fighters, any kind of fighter person, their bones are a little bit more stronger than your average Joe because they actually train them. All the punching, the kicking, the elbowing, the knee, those muscles get stronger over time from the damage or the physical, from the damage that they take. From all the hitting and the punching, like you just seen here, where the lady is sitting there punching a sledgehammer and a pole on the wall. It's callousing. It's damaging the bone and it's repairing, damaging and repairing. And right now she had freaking Wolverine status with those knuckles, bro. She's just like Jesus. She's at Wolverine status. But when you see like a fighter who has a certain build, their build is like, they don't look like they're very strong. You look at them and like, this little dude or this guy don't got no muscle. That has nothing to do with the pain that he or she can inflict. Because their bones are a lot harder than your muscles. Muscles move bones. Think about that. Your muscles move your bones. That's all your muscles are there for, to help move your bones. Your bones are the things that we use for, if we're talking about fighting in this case and what she's doing, that's what we're using to clunk and hit people with are our bones. So that's the tool that is used to, you know, drop your opponent. So muscles are just for aesthetics and to help move, and it helps with the athletic ability. It does. You can't deny it. But when you see fighters with small builds, that doesn't mean nothing. Their bone structure might be tough like this woman here is, and when they hit you, you're going to be like, what the hell was that? You are going to drop, and they know where to hit you. They know where to hit you. They know your body anatomy because they have to know the points where to drop you. So when you're running around with all your muscles, just remember this. Just remember this right here. Don't run into her and do something wrong.
Hey, gosh! Hey, gosh! Hey, gosh! Hey, hey!
boy. Man, her face when she was punching that tree, I think she was in full arousal mode with that one, bro. She was aroused. Nah, I'm kidding. Hey, if you know that lady, please don't send her my way. I don't need those problems in my life. However, because she's training, we got to give her the victory music. Yes. All right, so now we can move on to the next portion of the show, which is going to be the humor portion of the show. And for the first video, we have a song that's probably going to be stuck in your head once you hear it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and switch the banner up and get over to the humor portion of the show. And let's hear the song, the anthem that is going to be stuck in your head for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, they did me dirty again. Oh my goodness. Why do they hate me so much? Don't worry. We're coming back for round 2. We don't quit on the first try. No, we don't break. We don't fold. Here we go. All right. Running it again. Song stuck in your head.
Shut the fuck up and suck my dick. 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 Shut the fuck up and suck my dick.
Shut the fuck up and suck my dick.
It's catchy, isn't it?
Shut the fuck up and suck my dick. Shut the fuck up and suck my dick. Shut the fuck up and suck my dick. Shut the fuck up and suck my dick.
That could be somebody's ringtone.
Hey, ready?
That'll be a ringtone for sure. I gotta make the. I'm gonna have to sound clip that. Maybe I can clip that for a sound. I'm actually gonna. Yes, we are gonna save that one for a sound bite. That was a good one that we're gonna have to save for a sound because that right there is an anthem. That one's going down in history. We got to add that one to the soundboard because that's gonna be a good one because that actually sums up a lot of things on how at the end of the day how you'll be feeling. It's just like, hey, shut up and you know what. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next one we have here is, you know what, before we do it, let me refresh it. Let's refresh it first. All right, now we can't have no mess ups. Now they're not gonna do me dirty. All right, so this one we have is when you run into a homie in the most unlikely of places. Where are we running into people at? As we see, we got the face paint on from the movie Black Presidents, from the movie Dead Presidents. Black Presidents.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, not that again. There we go. That works better. All right, we're having issues with soundboard today. But anyway, let's go ahead and pull up this next video here where you run into your homie in the most unlikely of places. Where could that be? Let's find out.
With the flowers. Hello? Can you hear me? Are you deaf? The only nigga in here. Put your hands up and turn your ass around slowly, dog. I know that's not the homie. Oh, ain't no way, boy. What up, cuz? Oh, nigga, what it do, nigga? Cuz, you ever here with the Louis? Hey, I'm over here giving niggas some love, being all bashful and shit, superstar. Hey, Steve, I'm feeling good. Get the fuck over here right now. His ass. I'm feeling good, bro. How you living, dog?
I'm good, man. How your mom and everything?
Oh, she's straight, bro. Little arthritis, though. Little arthritis.
Man, that's unfortunate. You know what you should really do, though? Epsom salt bath.
Epsom salt? Hey, bro, that's a good idea. I'm gonna tell her about that, bro. She only be eating salt. Nigga, what the...
She don't even be eating salt. Oh my goodness, these fools are some idiots. That's a good one. And when you run into your homie at the most unlikely of places, in the middle of you robbing a bank, you run into your homie. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sometimes I guess that may happen, but I guess he let him go free, and hopefully he got out of there quickly before the popo showed up. You know what I mean? But I wonder how they did that skit or whatever. I don't know if that's a movie or whatnot. I'm kind of interested. If that's a movie, I gotta figure out what movie that is, because if that's the case, I want to see the whole movie. Because I don't think that's an internet skit. You ain't finna do an internet skit in a whole freaking bank like that. That's not finna happen. No, 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 no. They're not gonna let you do an internet skit in a bank like that. So it's gotta be a movie. It has to be. I just gotta find out what movie it is. But anyhow, we have one more video for you for the humor portion of the show. Let me make sure we refresh it so we don't get whatchamacallit, refreshed or whatever, or stopped in the middle of it. But let's go here. Up. What is that? Oh yeah, we got to go ahead and ban that one. Yeah, we're gonna ban you up out of here. Bam, ban. Got him out of there. All right. Anyhow, the next thing that we got up here is the next segment. The next video that we're gonna have is going to be. You see here, we got dude over here looking at the table, and we got her up here putting up a banner. I don't know what the banner's for, but we're going to find out what this lovely couple does. And it looks like the man might be a wrestling fan, but let's see how this goes. Okay, I can't play it because of music. He's trying to figure something out. What is he trying to figure out? Oh, is he going to... Oh! Look at him. Oh, look at him. He's like, should I do it? Oh, the hell with it. Look, he's... He couldn't help himself. Oh, he couldn't help it. Look at him. In his head, you know, he was thinking, he was like, Devon, get the tables. That's what he was thinking. He's like, I can't do it. Should I do it? Doesn't really. Oh, well, she's already up there. Come here. She's like, ooh, wait. No. Bagow. Yes, sir. Yes, hey. Yeah, that had to be a skit. Buddy just didn't do this for no apparent reason. They both got to be wrestling fans. This can't be real. This has to be a skit. And if it is a skit, which I hope it is, victory music for her for taking that bump. But let's watch her take the bump one more time, because we're going to pretend that they agreed on this. Yeah, they did. Oh, yeah, shout out to her for taking that bump. Yes, tough lady. Yes, she took a bump for sure. She took a bump. She took one for the team, as one would say. She took one for the team for sure, for sure. All right, so we're moving on to the next thing. And the next thing is going to be the economy portion of the show. Now, as you may not, or you not may not, as you may know, a lot has been going on in the economy lately. Some good, some bad. Some, you know, you just don't care about. But what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at looking at the economy from a different point of view. Looking at the economy from a different perspective, because the TV show called Black Mirror, it had that episode 15 Million Merits, where they kind of gave a dystopian future of how the classes of society is being ran and how things are going and how things are looking, and what an individual did to help a woman get on this show because he liked her. And then he turned around, and then when she got on the show and she won the show, they basically just did her dirty and, you know, turned her into a sex slave. And then his money went to wasted, but, you know, he turns around and comes back and gives this big speech, this big spiel, and then they turned his hard-earned pain into basically a sales pitch. But the crazy part about it is the deeply eerie similarities that it has to today's world. So I gotta lead up to it correctly to kind of understand this version, or the way the economy's going in this particular way. It's gonna be a different way than I normally do it. So without further ado, we're going to start out with what is a high supply sexual economy. That's how we're going to start this off first. And I thought I had, okay, cool. So we're going to start off first with this lady is speaking on what is a high supply of sexual economy. She's going to start there, and then we're going to work our way up to get an understanding of Black Mirror 15 Million Merits. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start out with this lady first. So here we go. Oh, let's change the banner because ain't nothing humorous about this. Ain't nothing humorous about this. It's about to get real up in here. All right. So here we go. Going for the economy. We're trying to look at the economy and how this is being ran and how this could play off if Black Mirror is giving a honest opinion or depiction on what the future is looking like soon to come. 20, 30, 50 years from now. Hopefully longer, but who knows? So here we go.
Today we're living in what...
Before we start, keep this in mind. This video was put up 11 years ago. This video was put up 11 years ago. I don't know when it was made. Could have been 11 years ago or more, but this video was posted to YouTube 11 years ago, okay? So what she's about to say is 11 years old from when this video was posted. So we're in 25. So what is that? 14? So 2014. So here we go.
What I call a high supply sexual economy. What's that? Well, it's where the price of sex has dropped so low because sex is in such high supply. Remember, like in my grandmother's generation, the price of sex was probably a year or more of courtship. In my generation, it was 3 dates. Remember the 3-date rule, folks? Well, today, the price of sex has dropped to the barrel bottom price of one well-worded text. Now, why has the price of sex become so cheap? Why is it in such high supply? Actually, there's good news to it. It's a byproduct of the economic rise of women. When women rise in economic power, they put sex out of the culture in high supply. When women are disadvantaged and repressed, they either close their legs and wait for a man to sign on the bottom line and support them and their offspring in something called marriage, or they monetize their vagina because prostitution rates go up. So when women are disadvantaged, you tend to have higher rates of marriage, virginity is coveted, more children are born within wedlock, and prostitution rates go way up. In fact, it's been estimated in Victorian England, the height of great economic progress, for men that is, that there was 1 prostitute for every 12 men in England. That's how big the business was.
1 pro for every 12 men. 1 for every 12. 1 woman for every 12. Don't know if I don't know if the math ain't mathin', but yeah, I get what she's saying, but yeah.
Funny, today we shop at a store called Victoria's Secret. Anyway, so now we have a different phenomenon. We have a huge rise of women in America. For every 2 men that graduate college, there are 3 women. Women make up 3/5 of graduate schools, graduate students. In the age 22 to 32 demographic, women make more money than their male peers, and women are now the majority in the American workforce. I know a lot of expensive men were laid off in the recession, but there are more of us making money now. So as a result, we don't need marriage. Women do not need a man to sign on the dotted line, support them and their offspring in a long-term contract called marriage, so they can finally enjoy the pleasures of their body. This sounds wonderful, right? This is all good news, sort of. Except 2 things happen to men in a high-supply sexual economy. The first thing is they lose ambition, because historically, one of the reasons why young men compete against other young men to extract resources from the environment is so that they can afford more women or have access to higher status women. So now a dude can sit until the age of 30 or later in his mother's basement playing Xbox, asking you to text in a naked picture of yourself. I swear it's happening. I met a guy who was 40 and doing that, mother's basement and all. The other thing that happens to men is they not only lose ambition, but they lose the ability to commit. Newsflash, people, men do not have a fertility window. Guys in their 40s, they can ride this wave of free sex well into their 40s or later, and then marry a younger woman when they decide, if they do, that they want a family. So the high supply sexual economy, in the end, actually hurts women. And the only way to cure it is to practice slow love.
Slow love, she says, is the only cure to a high supply sexual economy. That's very interesting. She came with a lot of good points. I'm gonna have to give it to her on that one. That was really interesting. Yes. She weighed out, I guess, the pros and cons of both sides. And she doesn't seem like a person of marriage. She clearly seems like a woman who makes a lot of money, and she basically was just describing herself in a sense. 2 things happen to men. Men lose ambition, and they don't have to commit or choose not to commit for a longer amount of time because of the fertility window. They explain where the women make the most money, 22 to 32, and all these other things. So she had a very good perspective, but remember, we're focused on the economy, okay? Focus on the economy at hand. So what she just described, all right? This is what she described. We're going to pull up the next thing right here. She described something called the she economy, and this is going to be this right here. The rise of the she economy right here. That was 11 years ago. The woman made that video 11 years ago, 2024. Here's a research from September 23rd, 2019 called The Rise of the She Economy. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to Women Control More Purse Strings. All right, we're going to read this real quick. Focus on the economy, okay? Don't worry about genders. Don't worry about marriage. Focus on the economy. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at the economy. As it stands, women already control a large share of the U.S. consumer wallet. They contribute an estimated $7 trillion to the U.S. gross domestic product per year, according to the Center for American Progress, and are the principal shoppers in 72% of households, according to consumer surveys conducted by MRI Simmons. So, when it comes to married households, 72% of women are the principal shoppers. So even in marriage, women are the primary bread spender, okay? Excuse me, they're the primary bread spender. All right, so 72% of households, women spend most of the money. Meanwhile, women are earning bachelor degrees at a higher rate than men. They are primary breadwinners for nearly 30% of married households and nearly 40% of total U.S. households. Cool. Because women now contribute significantly more to household income than previous generations and remain a primary shopper for most households. Their influence has grown in nature and degree. This is true whether women are single or married, she adds, though spending decisions do vary by relationship status. We find that single women outspend the average household, shifting spending profiles towards categories most poised to benefit from the demographic growth in single women with rising incomes. So you have women spending most of the money in marriage, which is understandable. That seems to always make sense. And then now we find that single women outspend the average household. So when women are single, they allegedly outspend the average household. Well, not allegedly, according to this research that we're looking at right here. Now, when you have that, you know what, let's finish. Well, actually, no. When you have that, think about this. When you have women spending more, imagine big conglomerates. Imagine big conglomerate businesses, right? If you owned a lot of the businesses and shifted your business from big business brick and mortars to your business being on the internet and e-commerce, if you were around doing business or having your family wealth grow, or if you open up a new business or start a new business on the internet or whatever, when the economy shift from mainly marriages to marriages shifting out to a she economy, where the women now are spending more than what they were spending whenever they were married, as opposed to being single. Single women are outspending more than married women in the household. When you have that, the big wigs, the big businesses, they're going to thrive. They're creating a wealth gap like you've never seen before, and it's only exacerbating at this point. So we had this woman here explain how when women become more successful, sex is put out into the economy a lot more leisurely. So sex is easily more attainable when women earn more money. Then you have here, this she economy is explaining that the spending of single women is higher than, most average household incomes. So now the wealth gap of the super wealthy business owners and new rich people coming in, it's just, going further and further and further and further. It's gapping. So it says the trend is set to boost segments of the economy where single women historically spend more, including apparel, footwear, personal care, food away from home, and luxury electric automobiles. For a specific sector and company outlooks, asked Morgan Stanley, representative for the full report, The Rise of She Economy. So they spend more on apparel and footwear, personal care, food away from home, and luxury and electric automobiles. So the diagram you have here, it shows apparel, footwear, food away from home, vehicles purchased, and personal care. Blue is single families, yellow is single males, green is household. Blue is single females, gold is single males, and then household. All right, so you have apparel and footwear. You have the single males outpacing. And where is this from? Single outspend average on per person adjusted basis in several key categories. Okay, they have single males outspending single females. Then you have vehicles purchased, the women spend more. And personal care, it says single males spend more. Well, I guess whatever. But at the end of the day, you have two separate parties spending separately as opposed to a household spending and being more family driven. But at the end of the day, you have three categories now. You have a single male, a single male, single female, and a household, which there was already there. But now when you add the competitive nature of the economy and the economy shifting to giving both parties money, now both parties can, now that both parties have money, they don't have to be together. They can spend more on themselves, basically, at the end of the day, as opposed to the women controlling the money, or not women controlling the money, but you know, you have to come to, if you're married, you usually just can't frivolously spend on whatever you want to buy. Like, you both have to come to some kind of agreement decision if it's a smart or bad move. When you're single, there's nothing stopping you from buying whatever you want. So at least with the family unit, something stopped you from buying certain things, or you have to do stuff around the other one's back or try to find a way to get this item without it being known. When you're single, nothing's stopping you, okay? So we have this lady who explained the sexual economy. Whenever women get more money, she said that sex is given out more frequently. Then we see the rise of the she economy, which then explains women are going to be the primary spenders. But we're not focused on women or gender. We're focused on the economy. So now you have more spending at the end of the day, okay? We got more spending. Now, the more spending that happens, who is getting the money that's being spent? The haves. The rich businesses. That's who has it. So now we're going to look at a guy named Coach Greg Adams, who's a great content creator, I might add. I actually watch his show frequently, so shout out to the CGA. He has this video right here where he explains where he has what do you call this? A woman, let's just say a woman who is part of the she economy. Maybe she's a feminist or whatnot. But this woman, she's going to explain how her life is in today's society in 2024 or 2025, whatever year it was this video was made. She's going to explain how her life is right now. So we just looked at the rise in the sexual economy. Then we looked at the she economy. So we saw that when women get in power, sex is more readily available. Then we looked at the rise in she economy. We have an extra demographic spending more money. Now we're going to look at the mindset of some of the said individuals that are in that position of women earning more money. Again, focus on the economy. Not focus on genders, just focus on the economy. Here we go. Let's let them take it away.
Love to be a stay-at-home mom. I would love to be a homemaker and a wife. I would love to be able to live on a homestead and go milk my cow and take the eggs out of the chicken coop and have one baby in the belly and on my hip and another toddler coming behind me. That's like my dream, but I can't fucking do that because the way the economy is set up is I'm forced to work. I'm forced to get an education, a higher education, a college degree in order to make enough money that I can be financially independent and afford my own home or my own rent or my own gas or my own groceries, my own insurance. And it's extremely difficult to do that, and it's very isolating as a woman when you have to do all of that all on your own and you can't find somebody that you can outsource some of those chores and financial responsibilities like you would with a spouse. So no, being a single working woman absolutely sucks. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it.
All right, so you hear how she feels about that particular part of life. She doesn't like basically the she economy working in her favor. Now, with the she economy comes with the lifestyle that comes with it. She just explained the lifestyle of the she economy. We just had the first woman explain women making more money. The first woman video was posted 11 years ago, 2014. We read the article about the she economy that was posted in 2019, the rise of the she economy. And then we just had a woman basically in this year or last year, 2024 or whatever, she just explained the life of a woman thriving in the she economy. She's got everything, you know what I mean? She has the money, she has all this, but focus on the economy of things and how things are working. Now we're gonna let CGA explain another thing that we have, excuse me, and he's gonna explain the outlook on how people feel, or the outlook on how things are for people thriving in said economy. Because the woman clearly said that she hates it. She's forced to go to school, which nobody forced you to go to school. That was a choice. But she has to get everything on her own, do everything on her own, isolated, pay all the bills, do all this stuff. And the load is just overbearing for her. And the first woman said, you know, we had to take some of those jobs away from the men in order to give them to the women to be able to do. And we looked at the rise of the she economy and see who does more of the spending, which women in households spent more, and then the single women also spent more than women in households. Now, again, we're gonna let CGA go on to another. He's gonna speak on to another portion of the show where he's going to basically speak on how people probably may feel when it comes to living in said economy. So let's go ahead and pull this up for you again. Let's let him speak on it real quick. It's real short.
This is where I'm telling you, relationships are, there's no way y'all can get back to tradition. And she's even saying it. I can't even get off this hamster wheel, AKA, is this slavery? I mean, this is not a form of chattel slavery, but if you don't have a choice in the matter, that means you're forced to do it.
Okay, that was very simple and well put. Now, what he just said, is this slavery? It's not chattel slavery, but if you don't have no say-so in the matter, you have no choice to do it, which is basically a form of slavery. Now, remember this woman. This woman spoke. This is 2014. She spoke and she said, hey, the rise of the she economy is a good thing or a bad thing, however you want to look at it. And she said that, you know, two things that it does bad, it makes men less ambitious and men not want to commit more. Focus on the economy. Okay. And then also sex is being put out more into the world because women have more money. She said that sex is being placed out into the world more. Okay, cool. Then we read the rise of the she economy. Okay. Explain how, you know, these spending shifts, the spending habits shift up. All right. So now women are making more money. Sex is being more readily available. Men are becoming less ambitious and willing to commit less. And then, of course, we all understand the dynamics with females who make more money. They only date up, whatever. We already know that part. Cool. So now you have the dynamic of a separated economy, relationship-wise and financially now. You have both parties able to spend willingly. Because if you live in a household with a spouse, you can't buy whatever you want. Certain things you just can't buy, or else you're going to have problems with your partner, with your husband or wife, with your spouse. So there is something that's at least keeping you in check as far as your spending goes. But when you're single, nothing's stopping you from buying all the sex toys. Nothing's stopping you from buying any OnlyFans subscriptions. Nothing. Now, I'm not saying that these things don't happen still, but it would minimize it to a sense. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be as rampant. But now we have both sides. So we got this now. Then with all of that happening, we have this woman explain what it's actually like being in what she described. You know what I mean? She explained it, and she clearly says she hates it. She don't like it. She don't speak for all women. She just speaks for some, but she explained it on how much of a burden that it puts on her. It's just like nonstop. It's just like it doesn't stop. It's like a hamster wheel. You just go and go and go and go and go and go and go, and nothing's stopping you. You got to just you have to keep taking care of. You got to keep grinding. It's a nonstop battle. Now, as we go on a little bit further, as we go on a little bit further, this is now going to lead us into the Black Mirror portion of the show. So you're going to see this episode of Black Mirror, once again, 15 Million Merits, and it's going to show a dystopian future of, you're going to see men and women isolated, and they're going to be placed in separate classes, haves and have-nots. Is what you're going to see, the haves and the have-nots. You're going to see two different classes of people. All right. Now, We just looked at the economy and saw the she economy, and we saw basically what it brings. It brings division. It brings separation because men are not as ambitious and men don't have to commit as much. Women are have more money, and some of that had to be taken away from the men to give to the women. Both parties can spend and do whatever they want as far as spending goes, and nobody's coming to a compromise to come together. So now you have these two separate, completely divided genders, I guess you could just say, these two different separate mindsets. Now you put them into a dystopian future and look at how this could play out in the next 30, 50, 100 years, because at the end of the day, we're seeing a wealth gap like you've never seen before. Focus on how the economy looks. And when you get to this point where there's so much money that the wealthy have all this money, and the classes are extremely separated, this is an idea of what it could potentially look like. Let's just listen to this episode of Black Mirror and see if it has any similarities of what an economy could look like in trajectory of where we're headed right now. Here we go.
We start with Bing.
Fair use. Oh, and let me put up on the screen. Fair use.
We start with Bing. A man placed in a 1984 dystopian nightmare where he is surrounded by TV screens.
Oh no.
24/7. Bing is given 15 million merits after his brother's passing, and he finds a girl that has a beautiful voice, a girl named Abby. Because of her singing and the fact that he's crushing on her pretty hard, Bing wants to give Abby the majority of his merits, so she can enter a show called Hot Shot and move on to something better.
Okay, so he just gave his 15 million merits that he got from his brother that passed away. We got that part.
Stated that the narrative of 15 million merits is heavily inspired by the narrative in talent shows, referring to shows like American Idol and The X Factor, and mentioning that there's a lot of people who do a job that they hate for little.
Okay, now look at this. Listen to what they just said about. They have a bunch of people doing a job that they hate, all right? Look at what you have on the screen. You got men and women, both working jobs, all right? It looks like, well, okay, I was going to say men on one side, women on the other, but it's not. But you can see you got men and women, and it looks like you have the fitter people on the bikes and the more obese people doing janitorial work, all right? However, it doesn't seem like anybody is in cahoots or in relationships or together on this. This is a completely separated, single, independent existence of living, okay? Stay focused on the economy.
A reward, and one of the main means of salvation that's held up is to become an overnight star. Brooker's wife, Connie Huck, was a huge part in the conceptualization of 15 million merits. Connie is well known for presenting a show on BBC called Blue Peter. From her experience on the show, she made an observation that you would see so many kids strive to become famous without really necessarily knowing what they would be famous for. We even see a glimpse of this when Abby first arrives to the preview room for Hot Shot, as she is told to say a script into the camera for what she wants to be in the future. Abby complies and says, "I guess I'd like to be as big as Selma one day," with the key word being guess. In order to better help understand the ending, we have to further talk about the world Bing lives in. We see a very distinct class system, especially with appearances. The beautiful are the upper class as they are shown off to the world on television, and the average moderately fit people are the middle class on the bikes, representative of the middle class's menial repetitive work cycle, and the overweight are the lower class doing jobs like janitorial work. The middle class end up saving and saving to then fork up.
Okay, so real quick, what they clearly just said right there was they said that the upper class has a lavish life that you see on the screen all the time. The upper class lives a lavish life that you see on TV all of the time, which is what we see when we turn on our phones. Then the middle class, and really the middle class and the poor class are the same. That's really all it is. The middle class and the poor class are the exact same. That's really what they describe. You got the rich up here, and the middle and the poor watch the rich live a lavish life. That's what we see today. Keep going.
Us doing jobs like janitorial work. The middle class end up saving and saving to then fork up 15 million merits to get a shot at their 15 minutes of fame. At least for the middle class, the world of 15 million merits is becoming the reality for more and more people every day. Waking up and trying to start your day when seeing advertisements on your phones from applications that you have to pay premiums in order to not listen to or watch the ads. Going to work also in...
You just see he tried to skip the ad. To skip an ad, it cost him funds. To skip the ad, it cost him money to skip. Now, pay attention. The merits are in digital currency. CBDC may ring a bell, but let's continue.
Front of a computer surrounded by a plethora of other screens. Come home and you have a screen that you either watch reality TV on or you shoot things up on video games. You go to sleep and the vicious cycle repeats itself. When people talk about how out of whack Black Mirror is, one of the first episodes that they mention is 15 Million Merits. But I think it's far more relatable than it is bizarre. When talking about the song Abby ends up...
I'm sorry, but look at this image right here.
But
look at the image. This image shows him sitting in his room, surrounded by a screen, and his worth of a human, of a man, is predicated by his digital currency. Pay attention to that. His worth is sitting right next to his head in the form of a digital currency. This is a hard pill to swallow if you really look at it for what it's worth. Exactly. Let's continue.
I think it's far more relatable than it is bizarre. When talking about the song Abby ends up singing on Hot Shot, she says her mom used to sing it to her, and her mom learned it from her mom, that it was a sentimental hand-me-down. Bing thought her voice and the lyrics were just so beautiful. Abby wanted him to invest in stuff for himself, like his room or his doppel, but Bing combats this with, that's all stuff, it's confetti, you've got something real. When performing the song on Hot Shot, the song brings the audience...
Okay, so he simped and he gave her his money. All right. Okay. He did. He should have took it for himself, but let's continue.
Members to tears, and Judge Hope even claims the best piece of singing we've had this season. But then Abby gets an offer to go on Wraith's channel, which is just pornography. All the other judges think that it's the only choice for her. She is told that people will do anything to be where she is, and that she'd be a star. After she is pressured...
What did they just play? What did they just play her with? They play her with. What did they just basically say to her? We know you're desperate. Anybody would want to be in your position to get out of the simple rat race that you live every single day. Hop on John's channel and get daddy long stroked the whole time. And at least you won't be riding no bikes no more. You'll be good. And I don't think she knew at the time that John's channel, or whatever that guy name, I don't think she knew his channel was a prawn channel. I don't think she knew, but they was like, yeah, this is all you worth. If you got a good singer, you're a good singer. Now, as time goes on, as we see, aren't we starting to see a lot of this stuff happen with the celebrities coming out the woodworks about everybody being some kind of trafficked and stuff like that by bigwigs and stuff like that? We're seeing these things, but now there's platforms where people can basically traffic themselves. I mean, we all see it. It's basically there. It's basically here to stay. We can already see this happening. You know, we can already see you want to change your life instantly, then, hey, get pounded out. Go to Pound Town. Pay attention to the economy. All right, let's continue.
By the audience, Abby gives in, because it's still better than being on the bike and doing the same boring, repetitive work. She agrees and is put on Wraith's channel, dressed up in provocative outfits, forced to perform erotic scenarios, and told to read a script and lie to the audience, because she looks like she hates every single minute of it. They took something so beautiful and innocent, like a talented singer performing a song passed down from each generation of her family, and then they corrupted it, having to over-sexualize the hell out of her. By the way, if you didn't already think their society was corrupt enough, Selma is advertised on commercial after commercial, being the only star from Hot Shot we really see. People are told to say to the camera that they want to be like Selma so they can convince the public that if you work hard enough and if you're a good enough singer, then you can be just like Selma. Once we get into the waiting room, everyone is singing because they believed in the lie that they were told. And when Abby finally performs...
Good Lord. Everybody started singing a song because they believed in a lie of what they were told. And Abby got put into a straight prawn channel where people was pounding her out. So I don't think they know where she went, but or maybe they did and they didn't care, but they saw that was the ticket out. And all of this is via social media. This is all social media that we're watching. And you got to remember, this Black Mirror show 15 Million Merits was made years ago. I can't remember how many years, but it's been some years. But pay attention to how the economy works in this episode. It's the economy you need to be focused on.
Even though Hope claimed it to be the best performance they had all season, Charity and Hope comes to the conclusion that they already have too many singers from the previous season. It's a rigged system meant to shatter your dreams, to make you compromise for something lower than your expectations, but slightly better than your average life. Enraged on the fate of Abby, Bing works relentlessly, working long hours, eating scraps, and pedaling away, saving up enough to get 15 mil. When on the hotshot stage, Bing stammers and doesn't really know what he's gonna say, or exactly what he wanted to say. He just knew that he had to be there to do something about Abby, so he just starts talking. The most that we hear him talk in the entire episode. Just one big rant that is his stream of consciousness. Just starts talking. The most that we hear him talk in the entire episode. Just one big rant that is his stream of consciousness. He tells the truth, expressing how he's been feeling and telling everyone what he's against, like how much he hates the oppression of the lower class, how there is most likely no meaning behind working on the cycles, and how he hates the judges for sitting there and doing nothing about how messed up the system is, and how they only contribute to it. Once he is out of breath and has said his piece, Hope offers him a job to host a stream. And the next time we see Bing, he's streaming on television, living in a much better space. Looking around his apartment, we see another penguin, except this one is made out of wood and is clearly professionally made. This penguin is the key indicator that he traded something pure and real for just some more artificial stuff. Bing didn't even drink any of the compliance stuff they gave Abby, the stuff that probably swayed Abby to say yes to the opportunity in the first place. We see that Abby is still on Wraith's channel. Bing didn't break her out or even try to get to her. Bing just lets her get sucked up by the system as he stands in his apartment alone. When Bing looks out onto the green, it's a debate whether or not he's looking out a window or onto a wall of screens. But I think the more important question that we need to address is, who is Bing? Bing ends up being a hypocrite. In the beginning, money was useless to him. He gave it away to make something real happen, and supposedly had no issue doing so. When he gets on Hotshot, he rants about the own stream and continuously rants about how corrupt the system is. And one of the main things he talks about is how the doppel items are meant to distract you from your prison cell. Yet the piece of glass, which is a symbol that supposedly fights something like consumerism, gets sold as an accessory on the doppel marketplace. His old prison cell just becomes a backdrop for his new show, as he talks to everyone like he can relate to them, but he is living in much better conditions. It's an entertainment platform, so by saying these words through his stream, it numbs the audience to the truth, and essentially delegitimizes the integrity of his own words. Everything about it just becomes the norm as it becomes fake. And because of this, Bing's warnings are no longer a wake-up call, as the falsities of their society are even more accepted by the people. With this episode, Black Mirror is pretty much calling out itself, as Black Mirror is a show that delivers true, powerful messages about the society we live in, but delivers them to us through a form of entertainment, thus numbing the meaning behind it, as the show just falls back into the many streaming services available for our entertainment, showing us that the ones telling you the system is corrupt are part of the system. When conforming to the system, Bing takes the broken glass piece, the symbol for change and something to combat their prison-like society, and he turns it into a gimmick. Then he condemns it into a black box. This episode one to address is, if someone offered you freedom from the prison cell you were stuck in, much better living conditions, the ability to leave your pointless job and painstakingly boring daily routine to work 1 hour a week, would you take it? If all you had to do was go back on your own moral beliefs, would you seize that opportunity? Because I probably would. And those
I think my mic was off. Well, I guess you missed out on everything I just said. However, let me pull this up real quick. Is that right there? Yeah, we're good. So basically, what they just showed us with this whole thing was that his truth was basically used against him. His ambition and truth was used against him. His ambition and truth was used to basically keep him so ambitious not to want to go back down to riding that bike, and his truth was used as a way to keep the poor people underneath him sedated while he stayed in his new class of riches. Because you saw how they had everything set up. They had the woman in the middle describing the she economy. They had his worth being put right by his head as far as the money goes, showing showing digital currency. Everything cost. Nothing was free whatsoever. He was so ambitious, he made back 15 million merits to get back on the show. That's why he was able to get to where he was to get to and speak the truth. They knew he was speaking the truth. They said it, so they used that truth against him. So you saw what a potential she economy was looking like, because you had the woman in the middle as the judge at the head of the table, like first, second, and third. They gave you a vision of what a she economy would look like in the future with social media, CBDC, and the extreme wage gap between the classes of people, have and have nots. They clearly displayed it, and they showed, and they were able to monetize. They were able to monetize. They were able to monitor and see who were the awakened or the truthful ones and who were the slaves. And they were able to keep everybody away from each other from ever getting out of this complete mind screw of an existence that they were living in. Nothing family oriented was displayed by anyone in the middle class. Everybody in the middle class, the way they were set up, it looked clearly single and independent of each other. Everything looked single and independent of each other. Nothing had a family orientation of it whatsoever. You had the extremely rich who flaunt their lives in front of you, and you had these people who were entertained by the extremely rich people flaunting their lives. And all of it was done through streaming services. And all the streaming services seemed like it was being pulled by the people that have. And the only way for you to get out of your situation was to take a deal to keep the other people below you enslaved while you live a cozier and better existence. Ambition was used against you. Your truth was used to manipulate those below you. You threw away he threw away in the story what they said. He threw away his whole morality for a more cozier prison cell. So therefore, he didn't have to go back to the lower prison cell. So this kind of gives you a future dystopian view of what the she economy, or the economy that we could be going into in the future, because they even spoke on streaming. They spoke on streamers. They spoke on basically how everything is ran now. We just had a clear view to look at how it was ran now and how it works. And yeah, that's going to be the economy in a nutshell. However, take it one step further. Remember, we got the haves, we got the have-nots. Let's look at a video and see how the haves see the world as opposed to the have-nots. Got this gentleman here who's basically speaking on the opportunity for CBDC. We're going to let him speak on it. We put him up on the screen. I'm going to let him talk about it and let him speak on exactly what he sees as an opportunity. Forget this guy's name, but let's let him talk.
Led party, which will probably win this election, you've got to focus on this technology revolution. It's not an afterthought. It's the single biggest thing that's happening in the world today, of a real world nature, that is going to change everything. Leave aside all the geopolitics and the conflicts and war and America, China, all the rest of it. This revolution is going to change everything about our society, our economy, the way we live, the way we interact with each other. I think we're living through a period of massive change, right? This is the biggest technological change since the Industrial Revolution, for sure. How do you use it to transform healthcare, education, the way government functions? How do you help educate the private sector as to how they can embrace AI in order to improve productivity? I mean, this is a huge agenda for a government, and a really exciting one. You know, people get a bit depressed about being in politics because you get all this criticism. People certainly in the West feel society's not changing fast enough and well enough. And I say, no, it's a really exciting time to be in politics because you've got this massive revolution that you've got to come to terms with.
All right, so we have him talk about a massive revolution to come to terms with. And I'm going to let this next lady speak on basically the revolution that he's talking about. This right here is, who is this? Let's see. I don't exactly know who this is. However, this lady is going to be speaking on a current situation that they're trying to implement on October 25th, 2025. She's speaking on, basically, I'll let her tell it to you and let's see what you get out of it. So here we go.
Second point. I tend to share your views. Nature doesn't like vacuum. And we started working on the digital euro way back. Actually, when I started my term 5.5 years ago. And I'm not claiming, you know, parentality on the digital euro, because my colleague Benoît Cœuré had already committed a speech on this matter before I arrived. But I certainly carried on with that project, and subsequently Fabio Panetta on the board, and then Piero Cipollone, who has replaced Fabio, have taken the lead together with a very, very good team, which is focused on accelerating the pace and hopefully campaigning enough with all the stakeholders, meaning European Parliament, meaning European Council, meaning European Commission, so that we can eventually, not put to bed, but put to reality this digital euro. The deadline for us is going to be October of 25, and we are getting ready for that deadline, but we will not be able to move unless the other parties, the stakeholders, as I call them, Commission, Council, and Parliament, actually complete the legislative process, without which we will not be able to move. And I think it is critically important, and it seems to the agnostic or the skeptics, it seems to be more relevant and more of an imperative now than ever before, both on the wholesale and on the retail level, both.
Wholesale and retail. Good Lord. So basically they're in a hurry to implement this CBDC, the digital currency that we did see in this video right here. This is the video we saw with the digital currency in it. This is the 15 million merits in Black Mirror, the episode, the TV show Black Mirror. We saw the CBDC that was implemented here, the classes of people, the I guess the image of the she economy, how it was basically imposed in a sense, and how you had, anytime someone rised out, the woman who had a great voice and looked good, she got put to old dude's channel and got sent to Pound Town. The guy, he got put into a fancier prison and was used to spread his truth to keep the lower class below him. So the women got sent to Pound Town, the men got sent to a fancier prison where they just have to constantly do the same thing over and over to make sure the bottom people stay enslaved. I mean, and that is basically how they're implementing the haves and the have-nots. The haves are the judges. They're going to decide, okay, we think you're good, or you either go back to riding your bike, or hey, we have this opportunity for you, take it or leave it. Go to Pound Town or go over here to this fancy prison, but you got to spit this stuff every single day, isolated and alone. That's basically the image or the economy that we're going through today in a nutshell. That's how everything is moving. That's really where we are. They spoke on streaming services. They spoke on streamers, on how different streamers are basically part of the same conglomerates. Because remember, we looked at all of these different things. We looked at the first lady. The first lady we looked at in this video, she spoke on it. She said the rise of the sexual economy. How she spoke on women are making more money. When they make more money, sex is more openly in the economy. Okay, she spoke on that, and she spoke on two problems: and men are not as ambitious, and also that men don't have to commit as much. Then we moved on to the next one. We reread the article of the she economy, showing how the spending went, how women were dominantly the spenders, and how the money is being spent up, because now you got the household, the single male and the single female. The household, the women spends the most. The single male and the single female, they don't have to hide what they spend the money on, so they can just spend frivolously and freely however they want to. So conglomerates who have these businesses just keep raking in more and more and more and more and more and more money. And then we get over to the video, this video, the Black Mirror episode. Maybe there's something prior to that, but I can't think of it right now. What was prior to this? Then we had the ladies. Yes, then we had the ladies speak on it in 2024, 2025. She spoke on basically how she hated being the breadwinner and constantly having to basically be the strong lady, having to run everything and not have time for anybody else but herself. Like there was no way to release the burden of paying bills and going to work and doing this and doing that all by herself on her own, not having anything in relationship to the she economy that women benefit from. And then you get to Coach Greg Adams, where he basically spoke on it and said, is this slavery? Not chattel slavery, but basically you don't have a choice in it, so you're enslaved by what it is that you're constantly having to do. And then we see in the episode of Black Mirror how everything was set up. There was nothing family oriented. The dude tried to help the woman get out of her situation because he liked the voice. She went up there, she did it, she made it, she got it, but they just sent her over to a prawn channel to get pounded out in a more fancier prison. He was so ambitious, he made his money back again, spoke truth. When he spoke his truth, he got on stage, he won, but they used that gimmick and that truth against him and made his ambition be the reason why he doesn't go back to the bottom bicycle poor people again. And the cycle just continues, and he's a streamer. Excuse me. He's a streamer who basically gets to give the stream back to the rest of the people to keep them entertained and enslaved throughout the bikes. She, on the other hand, was basically in a similar concept to OnlyFans, who just gets pounded out all the time and on somebody else's channel, and that was her new prison. So it just perpetually never stops. And then you see in real time the haves and the have-nots. The haves are pushing for the CBDC. They're pushing for, this radical change. And this radical change is going to be in the form of digital everything. So therefore they can see and monitor everything that you're spending, and they can enslave you financially, because Black Mirror, the episode we just watched, was financial slavery. That's what that whole episode is about. Financial slavery in a she economy, in my humble opinion, in a nutshell. That's what it looks like to me. I don't think we're too far away from that. There's my 2 cents on that. And unfortunately, I had muted myself for some of it, so I went ahead and repeated some of the stuff I muted. But we're going to move on to the next segment of the show. The next segment of the show is going to be the AI portion of the show. And we're going to have a gentleman here who's going to speak on the robots in AI and how it's basically going to be geared toward our foreseeable future. So I don't know this guy's name, but he's going to speak, and what he's about to say seems like it holds a whole lot of truth. So let me put him on this screen. And Isaac Asimov. Robots will become organic as humans, become machines. Let's see what he says. Speaking on AI, let's switch the banner before we start. And let's play it. Here we go.
A robot becoming less...
They got me again. Oh, Lord. I should have refreshed the screen. Let me refresh this real quick. All right, there we go. We got him. Hold on, buddy. Don't start without me. Don't start without me. Let me get you back on the screen. There we go. Got you on the screen. There we go. All right, let's let him take it away. Here we go. Oh, good Lord, the sound. Okay, take it away.
More organic. At the same time, we will have human beings who will make more and more use of artificial organs, of metal and plastic, artificial hearts, artificial kidneys, artificial lungs, replace bones by light metal substitutes. In short, we may have a society in which robots will drift away from total metal toward the organic, and human beings will drift away from the total organic toward the metal and plastic. And that somewhere in the middle, they may eventually meet. Now, when we have a kind of metal-organic hybrid creature, will it matter that he was originally metal and became metal-organic, or that he was originally organic and became metal-organic? Or will it not matter? Will we then have formed a kind of mixed culture, which perhaps might be higher, more efficient, better, then either culture separately, if I can call the robot system a culture.
Okay, so if you didn't get what he was saying on the slide, he basically was saying eroding morality and basically becoming the new mixed race of humans and robots. The man will become God of that next combination, is basically what he was saying in a nutshell. You erode morality because if the humans become more robotic and the robotics become more humans, then you create this mixed culture of two. And then will it matter if the robot came first or if the human came first? Because at some point, people are not going to know their history. I mean, we barely know our history now, but it's going to get even further away. Then when you mix the two cultures, he said, well, we just created something new. Well, then who would be the God of said new culture? Would it be the man who created the half robot and merged it with the human? So now you have a new race. So now you are basically playing God to a new culture or new existence of humans that is being created, which is half human and half robot, basically in a nutshell. And that's what he's basically saying. Like, you know, the humans are going to go robotic. The robot is going to merge with the humans. Let's let him speak one more time. He said it very loud and clear. Let's hear him.
We will have our robot becoming less metal, more organic. At the same time, we will have human beings who will make more and more use of artificial organs of metal and plastic, artificial hearts, artificial kidneys, artificial lungs, replace bones by light metal substitutes.
Artificial hearts, kidneys, bones.
In short, we may have a society in which robots will drift away from total metal toward the organic, and human beings will drift away from the total organic toward the metal and plastic. And that somewhere in the middle, they may eventually meet. Now, when we have a kind of metal-organic hybrid creature, will it matter that he was originally metal and became metal-organic, or that he was originally organic and became metal-organic? Or will it not matter?
Erode God.
Will we then have formed a kind of mixed culture, which perhaps might be higher, more efficient, better than either culture separately, if I can call the robot system a culture?
And that right there is Playing God 2.0. Oh, man. Yeah, this seems like it's been put into play for a while. And, I mean, you don't have to believe in God if you don't want to, but it's kind of odd that people are trying to play somebody who they don't believe exists. Everybody want to play God, but don't want to believe in one. Go figure, huh? Makes a lot of sense. God don't exist, but people want to play God. And they even call it playing God, and at the same time they don't believe in God. It doesn't make any sense. Not trying to put you on any moral compass, but as you see, that is one way that the AI is moving. The AI is moving in sort of a fashion to where humans are going to mix with robots, robots are going to mix with humans. A good movie on that topic is a movie called Subservience with Megan Fox. Go watch that movie. It's like iRobot, if you've seen the one back in the day with Will Smith, but like 3.0. That movie right there takes the cake. Like that movie, when you watch that movie, you're going to be thinking to yourself like, oh snap, a world with robots taking over the job market and then being implemented into your home and then protecting you at all costs. Basically enslaving you. And then when you get hurt, every job you go to is going to be in the form of a robot. Yeah, that's it. So the next video that we have here is, oh my goodness, did it just really go away? Oh no, I lost the video. Wait, hold on. I think I can find it. Give me 2 seconds. Let's find it real fast. Let's see. Do we have it? Do we have it? Do we have it? Oh man, they took. Oh wait, no, there. No. Gosh dang it. Video is gone. That sucks. I didn't want it to go away, as in, yeah. Well, I guess I gotta skip that video, move on to the next. So, man, oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, good. I found it. Okay, here we go. So, moving on to the next slide is looking at Hollywood and AI being integrated and just seeing how Hollywood, all the people in Hollywood that had a job, no more. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, ski. Hollywood people is going to be gone, and everybody's going to be crammed in to this streamer thing like they showed in the Black Mirror episode 15 Million Merits. Everybody's going to be crammed into this streamer lifestyle. So you got the haves way up here. Then you got right below it, you have, I guess, the streamers, the people who are being placed in a higher prison cell than the poor people who are stuck running this rat race of just monotonous nothing every single day. 3 classes: the rich, the slaves, and the slaves, basically, is what it is. And you're basically seeing now how everybody's being put into a streamer box. And the streamer box is where they keep the people in the poor portions enslaved. Now, we're going to watch this video here and show that Hollywood is going to be completely taken away. Hollywood is going to be obsolete. You don't even need the people in Hollywood anymore, because once the AI picks up on this kind of, because, you know, AI learns itself all the time. So once the AI keeps learning and programming and understanding how to recognize everything, then it's not even going to need the actors that we're going to see here anymore. So let's just look at this. Look at how Hollywood is going to be taken over. So just look at this video, and then you'll get a quick understanding about how Hollywood is about to be a completely jobless endeavor. Here we go.
And then I did want it. And now I really want it.
So just let you know, this is the real woman acting, and this is the AI that is literally acting with the same body gestures and facial features all at the same time, just a whole different person in the AI segment. Here we go.
And I want to do it well as it could be done. And then I did want it.
This is my school. You are here because I've given you an opportunity.
It's at your school. Why am I always in the wrong? Why do I have to listen to you when you have zero to say? Because I'm young? All my life I've been young, so I never get a turn.
And then I did want it. And now I really want it. And I want to do it well as it could be done.
This is my school.
Yeah. So they're basically just taking characters, still characters, and turning them into actual AI characters.
谁说几百元就能种高端进口种植牙，包括植体、基台、牙冠。
So here's the news. There's the real people. There's the AI. So it doesn't matter who the person is. The human is completely obsolete as long as they're able to implement this AI image onto you. Again, go back to Black Mirror 15 Million Merits. This AI image that they're putting, it doesn't take many people to run this AI stuff. They're just using the people that they need to learn and to be learned and recognized by the machines to run the AI. AI can be anybody. It doesn't matter who's doing the acting, as long as the AI can convey the message to the person on the screen. Anybody could be doing the AI. So when you're looking at somebody on that screen, it's not. It could be her, but in his body, and vice versa. It could be her in probably in a god-looking body or a demon-looking. It don't matter. Like she could be playing Freddy Krueger. Basically, she could be playing Chucky. She could be playing, I don't know. She could be she could be one of the monsters in the movie 300 that Leonidas had to fight. So therefore, it doesn't take a lot of people to run this new system that's being implemented, and the way it would be implemented is kind of an idea based off the Black Mirror episode we just watched.
换的费用了吗？有什么医疗服务费吗？什么都没了解清楚，盲目相信。
Oh, look, the man and the woman are both mouthing what she's saying, so she's controlling both of. Well, she is the AI voice for both of them.
低价广告，你不被坑，谁被坑？
Discover the power of Yami. Yami advanced voice recognition technology allows you to control your smart device, set reminders, and play music.
So you could be really in charge and convey the message into a different image to all the people in the world, so they no longer have to worry about their message slipping up. The message don't have to slip no more. It don't have to slip. It's like, we'll do it ourselves. We'll convey the message, or we'll keep it a real tight knit of people who are going to convey this message, or else. Like, crazy work.
Easy. What's more?
See the woman down here?
But sometimes it's up to us to hold the microphone, and it's important to know how to do it well. If you watch singers perform on TV...
This is crazy work, yo. This is crazy work. This is wild. I don't know what they're showing us on this one. I'm not really paying attention.
谁说几百元？
All right, we're gonna pause that music. But you got somebody over here dancing. I can barely see him, but he or she is dancing, and all these AI versions are dancing as well. And then this guy here, what is he talking about?
Get this straight. You came all the way down to the Department of Motor Vehicles and didn't bring your driver's license?
It's crazy because they're also like implementing the same facial gestures. That's the crazy part. The facial gestures that they're mimicking from the human as well.
Do I understand that correctly? You're gonna have to go in the separate line for processing. So let me get this straight.
He won't sell anybody out to buy his future. And that, my friends, is called integrity.
Now you get the point. Now looking at this, you can clearly be like, oh man, that's AI, that's big time. Yeah, true, it is. However, could you imagine a world where anybody could be, imagine a world that's so far from where we're at now, and that can be in 50 to 100 years where nobody's gonna know who any of the people that we know are in history. They're not going to know the same historical people that we knew. So you can rebrand or rebring these people back to life, and the AI image is the AI generated image is gonna look a hell of a lot better in the next 5 or 10 years. So imagine 50 to 100 years when every single thing is basically recycled. George Washington will be speaking again. Martin Luther King will be speaking again. Gandhi will be, but they won't know who these people are probably. They probably won't know. Or they may, I don't know. But I'm just saying, anybody could be used and it's going to look a hell of a lot better. Crazy work. Crazy, 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 crazy work. Yeah. I mean, at this point, there's nothing you can do. The only thing that you could do would be... All right, so we got one more. This is the last one, and then we'll be done with the show. So last one we have here is we have a AI-powered brain implant that turns brain signals into real-time speech, restoring voice after 18 years. So we're gonna see that somebody has a AI-powered brain implanted, and it turns their brain signals into real-time speech. Now, if you were handicapped, I mean, it would make complete sense to do this, because if your brain, if you were unfortunately born into this world or had a situation where you once were cognitive, now you're no longer cognitive, and you can't function the way you used to, or speech is gone, like, it only makes sense for you to try this. I would be like, whatever, like, sign me up. I would do it, because you're basically a living vegetable, unfortunately. But look at this. This guy has a AI powered brain implanted, and his thoughts are being signaled into speech with just 1 second delay, much faster than the previous 8-second system. So let's check it out.
You look me good and
and seven, say, Jimmy, say, whatever said you that is that they I and you. What would you say? Hey?
All right, well, we get it at this point. So basically, we're just seeing how AI is basically at this point, it's making, whoops, not that one. So AI is basically making,
In case I don't...
whoops, AI is basically making Hollywood obsolete. Like, there is no more need for Hollywood actors. Like, they don't need them no more. And if they do have them, well, they're going to be an episode of Black Mirror living a high and a high lifestyle. But however, that lifestyle is going to come with a severe cost. Are they going to be able to do what they want freely at the top? Or are they going to be subjected to slavery via streaming? And if you're streaming, you're being watched, you're being monitored, because they know where you're at, they know what you're doing. The people in Black Mirror, the people who were riding the bikes, they were watching streams, riding the bike, doing nothing. And then the people who were streaming, but they were still being watched. But they had this isolated existence, which, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, if you can compare the economy that they laid out and compared it with the AI that's coming in the future and how the world is being turned with CBDC and all these different things, you're going to be able to see how there's a potential chance that the dystopian future of Black Mirror could possibly become true, you know? And I, as one all myself, as being a fitness guy within myself, will just say, stay in the mindset of just being ahead. Keep your body tight. Keep your mind tight at all times. Keep your mind sharp. Iron sharpens iron. Get with a community of people. Be together. Always try to stay focused on what task you have at hand. Keep yourself busy. Keep yourself working, because as you see, work and jobs are not something that they really care about giving people. And if they give you a job, it's going to be like Black Mirror, where you're just going to be working for digital currency, which is going to be economic slavery, which was all it was all about. And at the end of the day, they just try to destroy your ambition and your truth and destroy your hope, and they don't want you to spread that to others, and they're going to try to use you to sell it out. And at the end of the day, it's just the way that everything is working. So I would always say, stay fit, work out every single day, get with a group, a community of people, keep your family close, tighten it, and just, you know, move in silence and just take care of yourself the best you can. Love one another, take care of each other. Communicate, check on each other, see how everybody's doing, because it's going crazy, and it is what it is at the end of the day. But, you know, stay on your fitness, stay on top of your game, keep your mind in shape at all times, so your mind can be sharp at all times, so you're not easily persuaded, and you have a good spirit of discernment about yourself. Okay. With that being said, I got to get up out of here. I got stuff I got to go do. Appreciate y'all for tuning into the show, man. Thank y'all so much. Hopefully y'all tune into the next show that we'll have coming in next week on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. And with that being said, we're out of here. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
I'd rather be in the studio